Sorry for the interruption. Now proceed to the final part of the inaugural session. Now I would like to invite respected Ghulam Nabi Sahab to deliver a special lecture on the perspective of groundwater recharge. He is serving as an associate professor at the Center of Excellence in Water Resource Engineering, UET Lahore, having a long and rich tradition of excellence in teaching and research in water-related disciplines. Ghulam Nabi Sahab has completed a number of projects, more than 50 trainings, workshop, national, international seminars, symposiums, conferences are on his credit. He is renowned water expert with more than 50 publications along with 30 years of academic and field experience. His area of expertise are the application of the remote sensing in the water resources, sediment transport, and the groundwater. Ghulam Nabi Sahab, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Many thanks to the workshop organizer, Director Center of Excellence, Dr. Noor Khan, and other participants for this international event based on the hydrology and water sources. Are you listening me?
जी सर, आवाज आ रही है ठीक?
Yes, sir.
And my screen is sharing?
No, sir.
Yes, I have shared my screen, I think.
Sir, we couldn't see.
Now?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, so I request Mrs. R, please help me to share my screen. No, screen is sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We can see the slides.
Okay, sorry for little delay. Okay, I will talk about the groundwater management and the option for groundwater recharge. Okay. And if we have a look on this picture, okay, this is a general map of Pakistan. It's represent different rivers and the area under flood. Okay. So if we compare this with the groundwater map on the right side, that is the different zones for groundwater, we can generally say that the fresh groundwater is adjacent to the rivers, and mainly this is due to the flood recharge and recharge from the water bodies, mainly rivers. So, being an agriculture country, we are heavily dependent on the water, and water is going to be short, scarce day by day. With the passage of time, due to climate change, precipitation pattern is changing, and the glacier melt, okay, is varying, climate temperature is rising, and at the same time, the surface water flow is decreasing, our population is increasing, and we have to produce more food for the survival of our nation. So cropping intensity, that has changed from 67 to 150 in most of the regions, and over 50 years, the population increase, industrialization, and urbanization, we are going toward the water scarce country in 2025. That situation is going to be very large.
Sir, we couldn't see the slides.
Okay, I'm trying to share again.
Now, sir, it is visible.
Okay, I think now it's visible for all. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. You may proceed, sir.
Okay, so if we look at this picture on left side, overall water availability, surface water availability from all the rivers, okay, that's going to be decreased continuously. Initially, it was 137 million acre foot, but we have observed that the available water varies from 88 million acre feet to 168 million acre feet at the different times. But as a whole, if we analyze the trend analysis, then what surface water is going to be decreased. So similarly, water availability in different season, we have two major sowing season. One is the Kharif and second is the Rabi. So the water is decreasing. So what is the situation? Okay, if we look at overall the situation of the Pakistan, the population is increasing. Cropping intensity has increased from 67 to 168%, and yield of the major crop are the stagnant, and uncertainty of the farmer has increased. That farmer are thinking that agriculture is not to be going the profitable business unless it is modernized or it is operated at the high scales. So total water available, that's the surface water, rainfall and the groundwater. Surface water is decreasing, rainfall pattern is changed. Now the only option is the groundwater, which is mostly saline and under stress. So the global data shows that only 3% of the water is fresh water and 97% of the global water is saline. But situation in Pakistan is more worse. Okay, groundwater has contributed 60 more than 65% of the crop protection. 55 million acre feet is our potential, and then cropping intensity, food production that is mainly dependent on the groundwater. So if we look at this uh, graph, we can say that in 1966, okay, the groundwater was only 8 million acre billion cubic meter. Okay, then increasingly now at this moment, the groundwater is more than 60%. Okay, that's a 60 to 70 billion acre foot that is contributed by the groundwater, and the usage is more than 66% water. So canal water is decreasing, only the stress is on the groundwater. Then what we have to do with this? We have to save this, we have to conserve this, and we have to manage this. Overall picture for this, we can see that this line shows canal water is continuously decreasing. Then the groundwater is increasing. Okay, so that is about 12, 13 million acre foot is being irrigated by groundwater as compared to the surface water. So we have to think on how to manage the groundwater. But the situation is that in Punjab, Sindh, and other province, there are different forms of groundwater usage. Okay, one option is the conjective use because the groundwater is saline and the groundwater mix is using. That's called the conjective water use. But overall in the Punjab, 50% groundwater is as a fresh, 33% is a canal water, and 45% is a conjective use. So province-wise, if we come to the Punjab, 21%, okay, that is canal water, 23% is the fresh water, 57% is the conjunctive use. So most of the water that is used in the Punjab is the groundwater in the conjunctive use form. In the rest of the province, okay, there is no conjunctive use. Either they are using the canal water or they are using the groundwater. Either it is saline or it is a fresh. They are standalone. They are using this one. So with the passage of time, groundwater has changing. Okay, in 1950, we look at the trend of the groundwater, the trend of the increasing the number of tube. So initially, up to 1986, there was no waterlogging problem, and 1986 to 2004, there was a waterlogging problem, and the tubes were developed. Number of tubes were installed in different SCAR projects, salinity reclamation and waterlogging project. So number of tubes were installed by WAPDA and different organizations. But with the passage of time, okay, the salinity waterlogging has decreased uh, up to 2013, but the number of the tubal is increasing. It's exponentially increasing. Now, at the present, there are more than 16 lakh tubal working all over the Pakistan. So most of the tubal are in Punjab. So, what is the total groundwater potential available that has been estimated in the Punjab? Okay, there is 43.2 million acre foot. Sin 18.4, Balochistan 2.1, and KPK 3.1. Total, we have 66.8 million acre feet. So, as about groundwater extract, we are extracting more water in the Punjab. We are extracting about 50 million acre foot per year. That is alarming, resulting in the groundwater level down. Same is the situation with Sindh, Balochistan, and KPK. So, what we have to do, we have to think on how we can manage this resource, how we can replenish this resource. So we have to invest thinking in the mind that we are investing in agriculture, we are investing in the irrigation partner. Ultimately, we are investing toward the saving of the groundwater. So we have to work on different forms, personal mass awareness about the situation of our level, that water is going to be decreased, groundwater is decreasing. We have to manage this. That should be advocated at all the level for the farmer, for the public community, so that everybody should be aware about the groundwater situation, either in urban or either in the rural area. Groundwater quality and quantity monitoring network. So only estimates are based on the data. We have the data scarcity. The data is not sufficient, but we have to increase the monitoring network so that sufficient and reliable data is available for updated mapping. More conjunctive use for other provinces, that will help us to save the groundwater. Crop cultivation. The agriculture is a major stakeholder, major user for the water. Okay, but the reason is agriculture is linked with the agriculture zoning. So agriculture zoning define what crops should be sown in which area according to the environment, temperature, water requirement, and water availability. But unfortunately, the cropping pattern or the cropping sowing pattern is not linked with the agriculture zoning. We have 10 zones for agriculture that has been developed in 2018. So high delta crops should be replaced with the low delta crops, and crops should be sown where they are suitable. If we apply high efficiency irrigation system, that will reduce the water, increase the water use efficiency, and ultimately the groundwater will be saved. On farm storage, we have rainfall pattern. 60% of rainfall is in 3 months from July to September. And in these months, excessive water is available, but this all the water is wasted in form of the floods and ponding. What we have to do, we have to encourage the farmer that whenever there is a surplus water, they can be saved on the on farm storages, individual storages, tanks. Okay, either it can be recharged or it can be used for the subsequent irrigation when there is shortage of water. Then groundwater recharge should be another option in urban and rural areas, agriculture area. A lot of work has been started for urban areas in the groundwater recharge, but there are certain limitations that there's a choking of the filter, okay, water quality, and the maintenance of the recharging option that has been a problem. But with the passage of time, there should be a concurrent research how we can reduce this problem. In the rural area and agriculture area, the surplus water is only diverted to the drains, okay, and there is a flooding condition during the monsoon season. So if this water is either stored or recharged, so groundwater level can be raised and it can be help us to do this. So what finally we can engage different community stakeholders, then consolidated surface water, groundwater data, that should be first, data should be generated, monitored, then it should be shared with all the organizations. One problem I want to
That's a
mention is this.
screen is not visible. Can you reshare the screen?
Okay, so I think there's a problem. So there should be an integrated approach, as Dr. Musan told us that instead of the silos working, we should work integratedly. Once the data is generated, technology is generated, it should be reached to the stakeholder. Then develop the water budget for different agriculture zones, areas. Closely monitor the water balances, irrigation deliveries, and water.
Yes, now it's okay.
Okay, so high delta crop should be replaced with the low delta, and second is the better incentive for the water workers. There are water policy in Pakistan and water act is also existing there. So most of the people they are linking that there should be water pricing, groundwater pricing. Okay, one option is okay, there should be a minimum groundwater pricing, but on the other hand, this might generate a problem for the farmer because our small farmer is already under stress, and it is very difficult for the farmer to bear the extra cost for the groundwater licensing, something like this, because energy cost is going. This fertilizer, pesticide, all these are going high and high, and ultimately the investment on the water crop production is going to be decreased. So we have to think collectively and come up with a concrete solution that once we save the water, we can save for us or for our future generation. Thank you very much. Sorry, that's what disturbance again and again due to this internet problem.
Thank you, Dr. Ghulam Nabi. Your mic is mute.
Uh-huh.
Now it's
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable knowledge. Now take a moment for the photograph of all the guest keynote speakers, authors, and the participants. For that, turn on your cameras.
uh, Dr. Ghulam Nabi, can you unshare your screen? The IT manager have not allowed other people to enable their camera. So we can see Dr. Amjad. कैसे हैं सर? माइक आपका नहीं ऑन किया है सर.
Sir, permission is granted for mic and cameras.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Mhm.
We can see Dr. Shahid also. Welcome, Dr. Shahid.
Mhm.
वालेकुम सर, क्या हाल है? वालेकुम
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
सर, क्या हाल है?
बहुत शुक्रिया सर. कामरान दिलशाद साहब, सलीम मुनव्वर साहब.
Thank you, everyone. Now turn off your cameras.
Thank you.
Yeah, well. Now